There are a ton of items in Monster Hunter World, way more than you can even carry with you. I've had many players ask what the best item loadout in the game is, and I've got something even better than that. Here's the best item loadout that you can bring on every hunt in the game, and it'll work great. And on top of that, I've even got 2 loadouts for you, since one of these is dependent on a very specific and overpowered skill in the game. Let's start with the better of the 2 loadouts for those with a more refined and cultured taste, the Mushroommancer's Pouch. Mushroommancer is an armor skill that I fully explain in this video on screen, and I believe it's the best skill in the game. In order to fully maximize how awesome Mushroommancer is, we need to build our item loadout to use the effects of the mushrooms that we're consuming. So here's the build. Starting with Mega Potions here. Mega Potions are just for topping off if you're low on health while you're going in between areas. Max Potions do what you assume they do. They give you a full heal instantly. Ancient Potions, which give you a full heal and a stamina gauge completely full, one-time use, which is nice. The Dust of Life is used to heal your teammates. And then Well Done Steak, when the fights go long, then you've got something to refresh your stamina once your Ancient Potion is gone. The Flash Pods and the Dung Pods are used as you'd expect. Flash Pods are used to knock flying monsters out of the sky or just to blind monsters as needed. Dung Pods are when the fights get really messy and you really need to get that Rajang out of here because you're fighting the Anjanath and the Rajang won't leave you alone. Dung Pods are really nice for that. Mega Barrel Bombs are for when monsters sleep, so you're able to get a double damage hit on a big boom with the Mega Barrel Bombs. And that's for some just huge damage. The Pitfall Traps, the Shock Trap, these are useful for multiple reasons. The first one is that you can use them in the hunt to get some crowd control figured out. It gives you some utility. So if you need a time for the monster to just stop attacking you for a moment, the Pitfall Trap or the Shock Trap are nice. They're also used so that you can end the hunt quicker against anything not Elder Dragons. You're able to capture a monster at the end of the hunt at around like 10-15% HP left on a monster, which means you don't have to fight the monster anymore. And you get a bunch of rewards that you would have gotten for carving, and sometimes even more rewards than you would have got for carving. And that's also why I've got 2 trap tools and 2 nets here, so that we can craft more pitfall traps as we go. The Trank Bombs are used for the trapping as well, so you need these in order to actually capture the monster at the end of the quest. And then I'll skip these here for a second. We've got the Wetfish Fin Pluses. These are used to sharpen your weapon in 1 stroke. And sometimes you don't even use up the Wetfish Fin. You get this through fishing wetfish, and they're really powerful for really fast sharpening in hunts. And then Nullberries. Nullberries are just all around good blight cure. You get hit by random blights, especially from later game Elder Dragons. And so it's nice to have Nullberries in your pack just in case you get hit by them. Now, the Toadstools and the Nitro Shroom, Parashroom, Mandragoras, and Devil's Blight is what makes the Mushroommancer pouch so good. When you're running the skill Mushroommancer, you're able to consume these mushrooms for effects. Toadstools are just like immunizers. They give you a health regen as well as a bleed cure, which is super nice, and you use them at instant speed. The same is true for Mandragoras. They stand in place of max potions. And so now you've got 10 max potions plus 2 that you can bring with you. So you've got 12 max potions in your pack. Devil's Blights are Dash Juice. They give you instant use, stamina regen, and a full stamina bar. So it's really nice to use mid-hunt when you need more stamina. And then lastly is the Nitro Shroom and Parashrooms. These are Armor Drug and Demon Drug. And they give you armor, defense bonuses and power bonuses. And you'll notice here that I only have 1 of each of these and not a full stack. The reason why I do that is because you only need 1, and then the buff lasts for the entire hunt or until you cart, either way. And so if you end up carting, you just go back to camp and restock all your items in the tent, and you'll get 1 of these back to rebuff with. But after you use them, they're consumed, which leaves 2 open slots in your item pouch so that you can pick up a few items along the way when you're hunting. So if you want to pick up those bitter bugs, right, or the flash bugs while you're walking around and restock a little bit, you could grab 2 item slots worth of things to bring back to camp to restock your supply box when you get back. And then lastly is the Power Charm, the Armor Charm, the Power Talon, and the Armor Talon. These are an interesting item in the game that a lot of people don't know about. They just give you passive buffs to your armor and your attack. So the charms you could buy from the item stockpile here, from this guy right here, and they just cost Zenny. They're really easy to get. On page 2, the Power Charm and the Armor Charm are here. You can only have 1 in your pack of each at a time. But later in the game, you can craft those charms into the talons. So they're down here on the last page of crafting. You just need the Basic Goose Talon and the Power Charm to combine it into the Power Talon, and same for the Armor Talon. You just need the Armor Charm as well. And both of these things stack. So in your item pouch, if you carry the Armor and Power Charm and the Power Talon and Armor Talon, you get just a stacking buff of armor and power. So you should just bring these all the time just to get a boost in your armor and defense. It's free. I mean, it doesn't cost you anything but 4 inventory slots. And at that point, that's like the cheapest you can get for a buff. Now, if you're looking for another item set that doesn't use Mushromancer, because this is a Mushromancer set, because you can't consume these otherwise. If you need an item loadout for something other than Mushromancer, then I would look at something like this. So this item set out is exactly the same as the Mushromancer set, with the difference being that there's no mushrooms here. And instead, I replace them with their item equivalents, and you lose an inventory slot. Let me explain why. All of these items are the same, but once we get to here, we've got Armor Skin and Demon Drug. We can swap these out for the Mega versions, though, if you want to. They just cost more items, but the Megas will give you a bigger buff. Either way, there's your 2 armor and power buffs here on potions. The Dash Juice, which is what your Devil's Blight normally is. And then the Mandragoras and the Mega Nutrients, you could craft these while you're in the field to make more max potions. The downside here being that you get 2 of these plus 5 more, so that's 7 total heals versus Mushromancer is 12 total heals, right? And you have to craft these on the go. And then down here we have your immunizers, which are the toadstools and the nullberries. And what we're missing here is the wetfish fins. What we lose out on is you're gonna take one of these items out to get the wetfish fins back in. Probably the immunizers is my guess. That's probably the weakest thing that we have in the build here, because wetfish fins are so powerful for the sharpening that you need mid-combat. Immunizers aren't really worth it compared to that, but you're missing out on an item. Like I said, the second loadout here is very similar. I just swapped out a few things that are the item equivalents, and it comes at the cost of you have to lose an item slot for all the items. Mushromancer gets you more items in your pack for buffs that you can use, as well as without Mushromancer, you have to craft on the go for certain things, and it costs you more resources to restock all of these items. Like Dash Juice is really hard to make because it either costs you a bunch of research points at the melter, which if you want to burn all of them on Dash Juice, that's great, or you have to go farm up parts from Odagarons, I believe, or send them out in Tail Raider Safaris to get the pieces you need to make Dash Juice. You can't actually botanical garden these pieces for Dash Juice. So up to you. Obviously, I've got both loadouts here for you. They're very similar. Like I said, this row is the difference with a couple items here versus the Mushromancer build here, which has the mushrooms replaced, unless you take the wetfish fins on top of it. Either way, load up your pouch and enjoy having all the tools you need for more successful hunts. And for all you fans of Punchy out there, if you could do me a favor and hit the like button for him, that'd be super helpful. Punchy doesn't get paid in dollar bills or in Zenny. He gets paid on likes on videos. Happy hunting, and thanks for watching.